All right, 2 seconds. Let me just. I'll get into this here because I was having some conversations with members of LEO, military, former military, combat veterans, and just smart human beings that are civilians. And this is all around the world I'm having these conversations with. So the one question I pose to everybody, and it's just funny because when I pose it out there, it's like everybody takes that moment pause and has to go, yeah, that's true. And let me explain what I mean by that. Most people's daily carry, everyday carry, is designed to prevent crime. Okay? So you probably carry some type of like SIG 365, 12 shot, or one of the small Glocks, the 43, whatever, and maybe you carry a second mag, whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, like, the people in civilized society like America, and some parts of Europe, I was having this conversation, they carry something small. And I think to myself, like, after what happened in Israel, where people were actually being abducted and taken by the hundreds, fleeing into the streets, leaving neighborhoods because neighborhoods were being under siege, and the military took a full 24 hours before they even were able to stage troops and start moving them out. Take a look at America, for example. Let's just say, for example, 100,000 pissed off people that come from another country decide they're going to start causing mayhem. Okay? Whatever they're going to do, burn, snatch, grab, whatever, play with your cat. Does your current loadout accommodate for holding off the badness until law and order is restored? That's one. And could you even conceive yourself in a situation like that? And what would you change in your equipment and loadout? The reason I say this, and it's not all about guns and stuff like that, but the reality is this. All of those Israelis that got taken, they got taken because they weren't armed. They weren't armed adequately. And they never thought that they would be under siege, like actual people coming to their door, their building, their neighborhood. I'm overseas. I get to see videos that America and Canada and some parts of Europe can't see because they block it with the filters. The idea that I saw heavy banging on doors and people opening it saying, please, please, no, no, and then being taken. Here's my thing. Here's why I got this today. Are you splitting your kit into everyday crime prevention and the fuck is wrong with my throat today? Sound like Barry Manilow. My only thing. Anyway, here's the deal. Are you gonna split it into your everyday crime prevention and your apocalyptic scenario kit? Because it's funny, because most people I keep seeing, they keep reducing their gear. Like, we went from full loadout chest rigs to micro chest rigs. Like, I actually saw like 2 mags. Yeah, I used to be, everybody went from the days where, as many mags as you can, 18 mags, then 12 mags, then all you need is 6 mags. Now you need 3 on your plate carry. Now it's 2 in a micro rig and one in your AR. I'm like, okay, now it's time for you to figure that out. Also, how much bulk ammo are you keeping? Because the reality is this. Let's just say the whole Israel thing, let's just say the other side committed, I don't know, 20,000, Hamas people to come over. Okay, you think we don't have 20,000 military-age males inside the United States that could start doing some wild, nefarious stuff? Now, you might say, I'm in the country, Lou. That ain't gonna happen. No, I can tell you it could happen because in Argentina, when the economy collapsed there were raiding parties that were going out to the country to get the homes. And it was one of these things that when you're out there by yourself, understand something. You're by yourself. That's one of the reasons why a lot of times in Argentina, a lot of people used to come into the city because good people tended to band together. That's just the law of nature. But anyway, getting back to your kit, do you have that kit at home for when things go biblical? I'm not talking about the little compact carry whatever. I'm not talking about you know your trophy red dot laser cut all this nonsense. I'm talking about, do you actually have kit to basically make a stand? I saw a lot of the Israelis, and by the way, Americans as well. A lot of people are not reporting on that. Two people in Israel right now, they're part of the reservists there. They're from my part of the world and they're Spanish. So I've been in little communications with them as they can. And the reality is a lot of them had to flee. Like people just fled into the streets with nothing. There's a argument for your go bag. I heard about one couple that they were going to go home because everything was happening. It was crazy. We just got to get home. Guess what? They're home. That area was under siege. So whatever they had on them or in their vehicle, that was it. Think about that. Get home, but what if you're home? You can't get to it. What do you got on you? In America right now, like in Europe, we have areas that are technically no-go zones and they're growing. New York City in Midtown at night is starting to become a no-go zone with the problems we're having, just like in Europe. The thing is, it doesn't take a lot of people to cause mayhem, okay? It doesn't. It doesn't at all. The thing is, what I'm telling you is, does what happened Saturday into today, does that change your way of thinking on your loadout? Do you break it down into your everyday carry for prevention of crime, and then, some people like to have their range bag. That's like their thing where they got their mags, they get all this stuff like that. And that's what they basically, that's what they go to, okay? It's slick. But then there's that apocalyptic loadout kit, which is as many mags and a pack for sustainment, and here we go. And somebody commented yesterday, where are you going? Well, it may be right down the block to prevent people coming up your street. That's why you need the loadout. What do you think? Your house only has a front door? What about the back? You think that everybody's going to come the front way? You have to understand something. Staying at home till they knock on your door or knock down your door, that ain't the best plan in the world. Taking control of your street, finding people left and right of you, like, "Oh, you with me? We're locking this shit down." That's how it goes. You're never going to do this shit by yourself. Rambo don't exist. You're going to have to lock down an area and you're going to have to lock it down with like-minded people. So start talking to those people ahead of time. Israel has shown that the everyday EDC is only good for a few minutes. Do you understand? What are you carrying? 24 rounds? 1911, boys? Love 1911. What do you got? 14 rounds? So even the dog agreed. Just make sure that you evaluate this and have your apocalyptic end of the world. This is my stand until things get, like your kit has to be that, okay? You don't want to try to fit your apocalyptic, kit requirements into your high-speed gear type nonsense, okay? Realistically, that ain't gonna happen. Just look at Israel. Or look at Mexico when the cartel takes over areas. You don't have to even go any further than that. I've been in towns in Mexico when the cartels take over areas, and the military and the police go, bye bye. Are you going to re examine your kid after what happened in Israel?